everybody, great to have your company. Our pictures coming your way from Billy Slater Oval at Callender Park here in Innisfail. And of course, it's the opening weekend of the Cairns End District Rugby League season. Super Saturday, if you like, and a blockbuster, this one, between the Innisfail Leprechauns and the visiting Atherton Roosters in the John Cole Trophy. With the Mares today in the house, the John Cole Toyota Mares Trophy up for grabs, which has been dominated by the Chooks in recent times. Can the Leprechauns pinch the silverware plus the 2 competition points? All will be revealed in the next couple of hours. I'm Jason Costigan in the house to call this opening round fixture between the Atherton Roosters visiting here, making the trip down the Palmerston Highway in front of a big crowd, it must be said, in support of the Innisfail Leprechauns, who are buoyed on what they saw in the reserve grade match. A helter-skelter finish, and the Leprechauns stealing a draw. 26 all it finished up. A converted try in the final 30 seconds, literally. And earlier today we saw Atherton winning the under-18 28 points to 6. So all is set. Great crowd on hand, it must be said. Typically steamy night, as you'd expect at this time of the year. And out they come, led out by their captain. Robert Harron leads out the Innisfail Leprechauns. The guard of honour for the hosts who make their entry onto Billy Slater Oval for this round 1 showdown. No doubt Leon Halley has given them a big rev up in the sheds before kick-off. Close but no cigar on no less than 3 occasions in recent times for Coach Leon Halley, looking to go one step further in 2022 with the Innisfail Leprechauns. They're on the field, they are set. And from the pictures we can see, it'll be Michael Morton to get us underway. The referee is on the ground. Alan Bain from Cairns, who's been on the local refereeing scene for a number of years now, so an experienced whistleblower in charge for this big game tonight. We await the arrival of the Atherton Roosters. Not sure what the CDRL rules are, but it's quite unusual from my point of view to see the visiting team coming out second and keeping the hosts waiting. I'm sure Coach Halley would not be amused.
All right, just running through your team sheets for the visitors. Atherton Roosters, the fullback, number 1, Ty Grogan. Number 2, Jordan Skeen. Number 3, Kayan Porter. Number 4, Nat Laxman. Number 5.
So while we wait for the arrival of the Roosters, we'll just go through the Innisfail side. Andrew Garrett at the back. Robert Meeks and Michael Morton are the wingers.
Number 10, Nick Grattan. Number 11, Matty Bally.
Aidan Chris and Boshe Satrick are the centres. Aaron Jolly and Ashton Galea in the halves. And up front, it's Sagigi, Laza and Arcella, Skelton, Elia Muka, and the captain, Robert Harron. And on the bench, Fakasalia, Chris Galea, Roderick Duncan, and in 17 is Johans Gabadi. The coach, of course, Leon Halley. For the Atherton Roosters, Ty Grogan at the back. The wingers are Skeen and Sims, Porter and Blackman in the centres. The halves are Grant and Pedro. Jermaine Pedro at 7 is the captain. And the forward pack is Coyle, Dumbrell, Pratton, Bailey, Power. And locking the scrum, the veteran Rodney Griffin, formerly of the Northern Pride. And of course, PNG International from years gone by. And on the bench, Carson, Dawson, Malloy, that's Trent, and Adam Malloy in 17. The coach is Graham Clark, who is well known to local rugby league fans on the Cassowary coast. Nowadays, of course, in charge at the Chook Pen on the table ends. Siren sounding in the background. The Roosters, I'll tell you what, they are getting the blood pressure of Leon Halley going north. And I wouldn't at all be surprised to hear more about this after the game. Here they come, the Atherton Roosters. Local MP Shane Knuth applauding them as they come onto the ground. He's probably got $1 each way. After all, he represents both towns, plus a few others. And at long last, the tricolours are on Billy Slater Oval, and it took some time. It'll be the Atherton Roosters defending the northern end of the ground, or the Ty Williams scoreboard end of the ground. Innisfail Leprechauns to get us underway. All is set here for Super Saturday, round one action in the CDRL. The John Cole Toyota Mayor's Trophy up for grabs, plus the 2 competition points. Sit back and enjoy this. Jason Costigan calling the action, and the season's underway on the Kasserere Coast. The opening match to round one in season 2022, and it's the Roosters with first use of the football here at Billy Slater Oval. Had some rain in the main curtain raiser in the reserve grade match, but so far the rain has stayed away for the best part of the afternoon and into the evening. Griffin on play 2, I think it might be. Experienced campaigner, formerly with the Northern Pride, and saying, I dare say, that his days in that level of football are long gone, but a great pickup, it must be said, for the Atherton Roosters to have a player of his calibre lining up in the club competition. They are 10 short of halfway, the Atherton Roosters, and a clearing kick. And Garrett does well and straight away goes to Meeks from fullback to winger as the Leprechauns touch the ball for their opening set here in this round one clash between the Leprechauns and the Atherton Roosters. Good charge straight up the middle. That's Tomasi Skelton, 110 kilos of him, big bopper. And here's another one. This is Dan Sagigi, 120 kilos. I'd rather feed him for a day than a week. Now a kick downtown off the boot of the playmaker himself, Aaron Jolly. But the Roosters are back there, so a clean set, if you like, from both teams. Atherton with first use of the ball. Then downtown, no mistakes from the Leprechauns. And now the Tricolours with their second set of the match. This is Griffin running at the teeth of the Leprechauns' defence. He's 30 metres out from his own goal line. And now darting away from dummy half is Dumbrell. 10 short of halfway. The Leprechauns looking to deal with the ball carrier on this occasion. It's Nick Pratton. Referee Alan Bain has the arm extended, so we've got a kick away here, launched by the Roosters. And Meeks does well for the Leprechauns. And here's the first penalty of the game. Tackling around the head, a warning on the run, penalty sufficient. Touch finder from the boot of Michael Morton. Tap restart from Boshe Satrick. So they're into enemy territory, the Leprechauns, on play one. And marching up the field is Dan Sagigi. Howard says, let's swing it out to the left. And going to ground now is Skelton. Tomasi, part of the Tongan connection here at Billy Slater Oval. Now they're about 20 metres away. Skelton, still going, picked up. They can't put him on the broad of his back. Here comes the last for the Leprechauns. Great opportunity for a repeat set. Little kick in behind the line. Forget about the repeat set. They've come up with a try. Ashton Galea threading the needle and found support, and they've come up with points. In Innisfail, the Leprechauns will play from in front. Chris goes in. Aiden Chris with the opening try. And it's the Leprechauns at 4-0. Great work from Galea. Tremendous vision from the number 7 for the Leprechauns. And Aiden Chris, the brother of, or cousin I should say, of Sebastian Chris from the Canberra Raiders. I spoke to him pre-match and he was very excited about the opening weekend of the competition, as you'd expect, particularly after the interruptions in the last couple of years because of the pandemic. And so much excitement with local rugby league and, of course, the rebranding with the FNQ Rugby League banner in season 2022. Great start for the Leprechauns. Long way to go, of course, but I'm sure that will please Coach Leon Halley no end. Getting the penalty, let's not forget that, to get the piggyback downtown, and then the vision of Galea coming to the fore and Chris providing the finish. This is Michael Morton, picture of concentration, 20 out from goal, 15 in from touch, on its way, coming back, not enough, waved away, no goal. Remains 4-0, Leprechauns 4, Roosters no score.
With just under 35 minutes remaining in the first half.
Into the next chapter we go.
So the jersey sponsor for the try scorer.
And the tail's up, no doubt, of the Innisfail Leprechauns. I'm sure there would have been a few nerves for some of the players after those opening exchanges and coming up with points. Some of that, I'm sure, will have evaporated as we see Skelton thundering upfield. He is a handful. They need 3 defenders there, and they peel off one by one. The primary defender was Glenn Dumbrell, keeping that ruck nice and tight for Atherton, as the Leprechauns now come within 10 of halfway. And another penalty. A little bit of push and shove going on there. An explanation for Matty Bailey for the Roosters, and also Rod Griffin. He's the only player in the game tonight who I've called before. I'll come to that later as we see Morton with the touch finder on this western side of the ground. A big shout out to the ground staff here too in Innisfail at the precinct that is still referred to by many as Callender Park, but of course it is Billy Slater Oval, and the ground is in terrific shape, it must be said. A rather underwhelming wet season, of course, but nevertheless they've done an awesome job as we see the Leprechauns now about 18 metres away on the attack. Harron finds support. Lazar, dummy half, goes the right side. Jolly keeps it going. But the Atherton defence up to the task on the far side of the field. And now a second effort, I believe. No, says the referee. You're into touch. Flag was up. Referee's not going to give a penalty here. He's going to pack a scrum. And that is an anticlimax for the locals and the Innisfail Leprechauns. Big let off for Atherton. Getting the penalty. And on this occasion, not able to cash in. 8 minutes gone here at Billy Slater Oval. Super Saturday, the opening weekend of the CDRL competition. And a big game tonight. This is a great test for Leon Halley and the Innisfail Leprechauns. Against a team, of course, coming off a disappointing season, it must be said. Failing to make the finals, as we see the Roosters going straight up the middle and exposing a soft belly Glenn Dumbrell with a very good dart out of dummy half, and some backup now from Griffin. Tough as teak, 35 years of age, plays it back, and now a clearing kick. The man in the headgear is the captain, Jermaine Pedro, and getting back there was Elia Muka for Innisfail Leprechauns. I was wondering where Garrett would come into it, and speak of the devil, right on cue. Here he is now getting up, or trying to get up to play the football. Zipping away from dummy half is Meeks. Oh, get that India. He is repelled by the Atherton defence. 10 short of halfway. Almost 10 gone. And into enemy territory they go, the Leprechauns. And now kick out of dummy half, and that's been picked up at the back by Grogan, I believe, on the far side of the field. They're a long way from us in the commentary box on this western side of the ground, as the lights slowly but surely start to take effect here at Billy Slater Oval. Griffin commanding plenty of respect. There's an offload. It was a bouncing ball, but fortuitously for Atherton, it's 6 to go. I'm not sure if it touched the hand of the Leprechauns player. I didn't see a touch, but the referee, he's a lot closer than us. And now he's seen a knock on, has he? What's he ruled here? Well, Robert Harron's having a bit to say. And in the end, I think that's a little bit of justice there, because I didn't see 6 to go, but the referee saw something that I didn't, and I suspect a lot of other people for that matter. But on the end of all that, we're going to have a scrum right in front of our camera here at Billy Slater Oval. Centre of the ground, 4-0 is the score. 11 minutes gone. Super Saturday, the opening weekend of the 2022 CDRL competition. Going forward now is Power. 12 metres, Innisfail's side of halfway. Nick Pratton, well, he is driven backwards. The captain for Innisfail Leprechauns leading the way, Robert Harron. And that was a nothing play. Referee saying to Dumbrell, get up and play it. Pedro looking to spark his back line, but the Leprechauns defence smothering, to say the least. He is the last. The arm extended from referee Alan Bain, and it's bombs away. And a test at the back here for Garrett. No test. Only had eyes for the football and did well. And they drag him to ground right in front of the horns at the southern end of the ground. Looking to muscle up here, the Roosters in defence. They'd love to force a mistake. This is Morton coming in off the left wing to help out his forwards. And now the Leprechauns have had enough of that. They go downtown. Grogan's back there for the Roosters. Beats one, but the chase is good. That was a great stop. That's very much messy at the very least. And what's he ruled here? Lucky not to concede a penalty, the Leprechauns. He looks a live wire customer. My first look at all of these players tonight, with the exception of Rodney Griffin, 35-year-old. And that's beautiful hands. I can't believe they've avoided a fumble there. Try and pick up his number plate. That was lovely work from one of the Atherton forwards as they go into Innisfail's side of the halfway line. This is Griffin, and he has support. And that was the man with the great hands in the front row forward, James Coyle. Getting back there is Garrett, has got work to do, and they've jammed him. Great result here for Atherton. They're going to get 6 more. Well, the kick was fantastic, and the pressure from those speed men in that southeastern corner has earned the visitors a repeat set. The Chemist Warehouse, Innisfail Leprechauns, hosting the Atherton Roosters tonight. A big shout out to Chemist Warehouse. You come into the ground, you can't miss the signage. And I'm sure that does underline the great relationship that the Leprechauns have with their sponsors and their partners in the community, where rugby league, of course, is number one and has been for many decades. Here come the Chooks, the Roosters, with Matty Bailey from the restart. 14 minutes gone here at Billy Slater Oval, and it's the Roosters looking for their first points of the contest. This is Nick Pratton. They're about 15 metres away. That's a flat pass, but it's okay for mine. This is Coyle, and he's a big unit, and they get a penalty too, right in front. It's a gift 2 points if they want to go down that path, or perhaps keep the pressure on. Offside is the ruling here from referee Alan Bain, and they'll go with option B. And this is Griffin. Now he straightens it up. Rocket Rod loses the ball. Was there a strip? No, he's lost the pill. Can you believe it? On play one, arguably the most experienced player on the park, and he's made a meal of it. Well, if he's looking for a meal, he should have joined me at the canteen for a steak sandwich, because they're as good as you'll ever get at a football venue anywhere. But I don't think Griffin will appreciate my humour after losing the Steeden. Few smiles on the Leprechauns supporters around me, as you'd expect. So this scrum taking quite some time. I'm not sure why we need to have practice in a game situation and some coaching tips on the run. But anyway, it seems to be something that's been permeating with referees at all levels of the game, where they just let players effectively have a timeout. But anyway, we've got the Leprechauns on the attack outside their 30-metre line, not too far from our commentary position. This is the captain himself, Robert Harron. Lovely to see his father, Des, in the sheds, embracing his son, wishing him well, not only for tonight, of course, but for the entire season. And it starts tonight with this serious opponent in Atherton. They will be no pushover here, and I wouldn't be surprised if this goes right down to the wire. Nice run here from Muka, and they keep it going, some second phase. This is enterprising stuff here from the Leprechauns. 17 minutes gone here at Billy Slater Oval, and now stepping back and getting a kick away is Jolly. And there's a mistake at the back. Great pressure applied from the Leprechauns, and I think they have a knock-on here against Atherton. So Jolly has done very well here to get that kick away to evade the first would-be tackler, and then the pressure coming through to force the mistake. And a chance here for the Leprechauns to put some pressure on that Atherton goal line. In fact, the referee has ruled a knock-on against Innisfail. Well, I'm not sure how that happened, but again, the referee, Alan Bain, he's a lot closer than us. I thought there was a knock-on perhaps against Grogan. So the pressure off the Roosters, as it turns out, and they bring it away from their danger end, the northern end of the ground, the Ty Williams end of the field. And we've got a penalty here on play one. They're offside in Innisfail. At least that's what the referee says. The captain is arguing the toss, so to speak, but he'll never change the mind of a referee in that situation, if ever. And now a touch finder from Grogan. Eastern side of the ground, into the advertising hoarding of Innisfail skip bin hire. Great to see the club with so much community support, corporate support, again in season 2022. The Chemist Warehouse, Innisfail Leprechauns, and they're going to get the ball here. Or what's he ruled? Has he ruled a knock-on again? He's ruled a knock-on against the Leprechauns. So another scrum to form. This one will be 10 metres Innisfail side of halfway. 19 gone at Billy Slater Oval, just the one try so far. Scored in the 5th minute by Chris. And now off the scrum, they spread it straight away. And this is Blackman, who'll rise to play the football. Oh, good shot, ripping in with great gusto. Atherton have got the ball still. This is Griffin. Who's 18? There's no 18 here.
18 is Chris Galea.
Chris Galea.
My JJ, Chris Galea, 18.
Older brother.
So I've just been advised that Chris Galea is wearing jersey 18. That's how you don't get a Christmas card from the commentator. Big shout out to the team manager. Here's Pedro looking to thread the needle. And a runaway here for the Leprechauns. Forget about the chase. Pedro is giving chase, but his opposite number in Ashton Galea. He will go all the way. Ashton Galea, who set up the opening try, he gets the second try. And don't they love it at Billy Slater Oval? Against the run of play. And it becomes 8-0. Out of the blue, great foot race. Pedro couldn't match it. And the numbers are in the frame.
Ashton Galea takes Leprechauns to 8 with a kick down. Ashton says comes with another 7 jersey, Prince Wilson.
Midway through the opening stanza, Galea doing the job of a winger. The playmaker, who was the engineer, if you like, for that opening try. I'm not sure if he did home economics at school, but he threaded the needle beautifully for that opening try. And then he took off as if his life depended on it. The John Cole Toyota Mayor's Trophy on the line tonight. Not just the 2 competition points. And so far so good for the home side. We're led to believe there's been a bit of banter between the 2 mayors coming into this game. I'm not sure if we're at liberty to divulge the specifics. I've worked for a qualified QC before, so I do know my obligations in that regard. And now we have Morton looking to convert the try. Interesting technique. He's not alone in that regard, but it doesn't work. In fact, it's worse than the first shot. And the follically challenged Morton is disgusted with his effort as he runs back out of shot on camera, and it remains 8-0 Leprechauns over the Roosters. And he's getting some tips from someone in the crowd as well. I'm not sure who that gentleman's supporting, but providing some strategic advice. I don't think it's Daryl Halligan or Hazem Al Masri. We're back underway here at Billy Slater Oval. 2 tries to 0, but it's only 8-0 on the scoreboard. And just repeating, jersey 18 for Innisfail Leprechauns is being worn by Chris Galea, and there's a mistake here. A mistake from the Leprechauns after coming up with points. Well, I touched on the receding hairline of Morton. Well, Leon Halley's got a fair crop, but if they keep that up, he might have some issues, and there's going to be more problems here for Innisfail Leprechauns. They've conceded a penalty, and this is play one, and this is Bailey for the Roosters. They're in good proximity here to do some damage. This is Coyle. He's only about 5 metres away. Battle stations here for the Leprechauns. Options left and right. They go the former. So far they hold out, the Leprechauns. Roosters looking for their opening points. And they're very close. Comes to Pedro at first receiver. They're lined out nice and deep. Now a fumble. Great pressure from the Leprechauns. Now it's, well, Stacks on the mill. I thought there was a knock on, but no, the referee says play on. But some rushing defence from the home side, and it works out very well for the Leprechauns. They weather the storm, and now they've got it back to their own 30-metre line. I'm sure that will warm the hearts of locals that have turned out tonight in good numbers for this round one contest against the Atherton Roosters. First game of the season, literally. Another game coming up tonight. Games tomorrow, of course. The defending premiers Yarrabah hosting Mossman Port Douglas tomorrow at Jalara Oval. A feast of footy across the far north this weekend as the Roosters are dragged almost across the sideline. And that is a penalty, and that was just ridiculous there. All the good work has been undone, and much to the glee of the Atherton Roosters and their coach Graham Clark, a relieving penalty.
Sunday for the NRL matches for the Penrith Panthers running over the Newcastle Knights 38 points to 20, and the Melbourne Storm.
So here come the Roosters on play number one, looking to come through the other side. They're 5 metres short of halfway. Quick play the ball is provided there, so looking to pick up some advantage on the back of that. Swarming defence here from the Leprechauns. In the thick of it, Chris Galea. No, it's not, because he's wearing 18, not 15. We'll come back to that when we get an opportunity as to who's wearing 15 for the home side. Atherton's got the ball. They're about 8 metres into enemy territory. They'll come across to Pedro. There's a kick, low trajectory, turning them around. Garrett's back there on his own goal line. Looks to put on a step, a goose step, a duck step. Whatever step it was, it didn't work. Chase is excellent from Atherton, but the good work again undone. This time the penalty goes to Innisfail. The markers, I believe, jumping early. I think that's what the call is. I think that's the interpretation. Hand signalling of refereeing isn't quite what it used to be. I'll give you the tip. I'll go back to the days of Barry Gummersall, and he'd be watching from high above, I dare say, and I knew Grasshopper well enough to believe that he'd be concurring. Leprechauns have got the ball, and great contact. Tomasi Skelton will play it back 10 short of halfway. He's been very busy in the opening quarter of the match. 13 minutes out from Oranges at Billy Slater Oval here in the Callender Park precinct. Innisfail Leprechauns hosting the Atherton Roosters, and that pass was really a low percentage play, and it goes to ground, and it's been compounded now with a penalty. And you can't really blame Jared Larza, because it was right down around the shins. Referee now having words or wanting to have a discussion with somebody, or perhaps just a warning on the run. In fact, there will be a discussion here. Robert Harron is up there, and the culprit is Andrew Garrett. And I dare say he's provided some advice to the referee, and Alan Bain did not appreciate it. And he's put him in the bin. Can you believe it? He must have given the referee a gobful. He's put his hands up as if to surrender. Well, can you believe it? The referee clamping down on any ill discipline from what we can see. And all of a sudden, Garrett gets 10 in the bin. 12 and a bit to go until half time. And now a great opportunity for the Atherton Roosters, trailing 8-0. 2 tries to nil, both tries unconverted. And all of a sudden, we've got a problem because there's no ball. Well, we never had such problems when I was a ball boy, and I believe, if my memory serves me right, Bailey Biondi Odo used to be a ball boy here. Bailey, where are you? I actually called him in the NRL last year. And he's kicked on from his days as a ball boy here at Billy Slater Oval, and we're back underway at Billy Slater Oval. Of course, I'm referring to the Canterbury Bulldogs, Rookie of the Year last season, part of that latest wave of players coming out of this part of the world going on to the big time. Great tradition of great players coming out of Innisfail and surrounding communities. As we see Atherton going on the attack, trying to come up with their opening points, and the ball is telegraphed to the left wing, and they're only about 5 metres away, if that, in that southeastern corner of the ground. The Roosters now, heavy contact, comes to Griffin. Griffin now, dummies. Was he passing off the ground? No, it's intercepted. It doesn't matter. And Innisfail again do well in defence, scrambling. And they get the penalty. Now there's a push and shove. Well, the extra man for Atherton, they haven't been able to capitalise on this occasion, I beg your pardon. And that's a very good result for the Leprechauns. Andrew Garrett in the sin bin, and from what we can work out, for giving the referee a spray. Well, I'll tell you what, if I'm Atherton, I'm really happy that this discussion's taking place, because if I'm Innisfail, if I'm Robert Harron, I think we really need a proper explanation as to what actually happened in that previous play, because the beauty of this is that the clock's going around and around and around. We're not too far from the timekeeper, and he hasn't called, or did he call timeout? No, he hasn't, so the clock's going around and around and around, and Innisfail's down a man. Now they've conceded a penalty. I'm waiting for some signalling from the referee. Well, I'd like to tell you what's going on here, but I've got no idea. And I'm sure I'm not alone at Billy Slater Oval. They're going to turn down the 2 points. It's a gift 2 points. It's not the first time they've been given a gift from close range, and Griffin will hit it up here on play number 1 as they search for 4 points, possibly 6 for the Atherton Roosters. They've got the 1 extra man, remember. Garrett is in the bin for the Leprechauns, and surely the Roosters will go close to scoring on this set. Pedro on the inside, goes to Blackman. Blackman running at the teeth of the defence, right in front of the sticks, southern end of the ground. They go the left side. Defence comes out, and they have to shift it back on the inside here, the Leprechauns. And I thought Pedro was going to get the ball. In the end, someone else has got it. They play it back. Pedro's got it now at first receiver. A step, and he'll score. There he is. He was the danger man. He needed to get the steed, and finally he gets the ball and gets it across the line. And the Roosters are on the board, and finally they've got something to crow about, and it's game on at Billy Slater Oval.
Halfback 7 and Pedro take out to 4 with extra cover.
So the captain delivers for the visitors, and 13 on 12, it probably comes as no surprise.
Home strike 3, opposition 7. So if you're the lucky winner for the doubles here tonight, just come up to the PA and claim your prize.
So Grogan will have a chance to come within 2 points or get his team within 2 points. I beg your pardon here, this kick coming up from relatively close range. The Chemist Warehouse Innisfail Leprechauns. Big shout out to Chemist Warehouse and all the sponsors who have lined up with the club for 2022. Jersey sponsors, naming rights sponsors, all sorts of sponsors. Century Cranes, Dan's Butchery. I'm sure the butchers were happy with that finish to reserve grade. This is Grogan for the Atherton Roosters. Left footer, around the corner, on the tee, and he's missed it. Well, I don't know if it's rust, early season nerves, the lighting, the humidity, or something else. But we've had 3 shots at goal and all waved away. It's Leprechauns 8, Atherton 4 here at Billy Slater Oval on the opening night of the 2022 season.
So if your program has the number that we draw at half time, you'll be the winner. And we've just had the doubles be claimed. One set of doubles has been claimed up the PA, so 3 and 7.
A false start, the ball coming off the tee. And this time, Morton launches it into the night sky, and some light rain starting to fall here, which will come as no surprise to the locals whatsoever. Penalty here goes to the Atherton Roosters. Remembering the Leprechauns are down to 12 men with Garrett Sinbin for descent. Grogan, the touch finder. And the tricolours will get us back underway 10 short of halfway. We expected a close contest, and for the best part of this opening stanza, that's exactly what we've got. Less than 5 to go until the break. 8 plays 4. This is Griffin passing before the line. Goes to Pedro, and the captain for the Roosters. He is put away. Now, darting out a dummy half. Dumbrell. Lively customer, isn't he? Now Griffin. Experience plus. Will he offload? Well, he's flung to ground. And now they go the left side. There's an overlap out wide, but the pass is wayward. Knocked back, I thought. The referee says... Well, now he's got a whistle. He's provided a whistle. I think he's seen something illegal. He was playing some advantage there, and there was none. And we might hear more about this. Man taken out without the ball, and now he signalled time off. So the clock has stopped at Billy Slater Oval with just over 4 minutes remaining in the opening stanza, and it's the Leprechauns with a 4-point lead. They lead the Roosters 8 points to 4. So we're about to resume play here at Billy Slater Oval after some delay. Time was off, so That's of no consequence for Andrew Garrett, who's still in the bin as the Roosters go back to work and not too far away from the sticks. Atherton looking for a barge over. Glenn Dumbrell in a dummy half. He's been very busy in the number 9 jumper, and now they're looking for that overlap in that corner of the ground. But the defence, well, I'll tell you what, they're scampering. Desperate defence from the Leprechauns, and they deny the Chooks once more. Well, down a man and stretched to the limit, and you can see the body language from the Leprechauns. They know in the run-up to half-time, that's a big play. They maintain the lead. They deny the Roosters what would have been a second try, which would have levelled the scores and possibly given them the chance to take the lead in the shadows of half-time, but it wasn't to be. Again, it seems to take an age, doesn't it, to restart play. And after all that, we've got the Leprechauns with the ball. Garrett's about to come back into the game, I believe. Only seconds away from rejoining his teammates after his ill discipline. They're 32 out from their own goal line, and Garrett has just re-entered the field of play. So it's back to 13 on 13 here at Billy Slater Oval. Jason Costigan calling the action. Super Saturday, if you like, opening round of the 2022 CDRL season. And Jared Larser says, let's get out of here. Taken on the full by Grogan, who looks up, looks for a chink in the armour, beats one, but oh, he's lost the ball. How did that happen? The Leprechauns, now they've got the Steeden, the spill there. Well, that was just poor ball carrying, surely. I don't know how it came loose. Oh, my goodness! What a shot! A chook just shot out of the line. A flying chook. Leprechauns have still got the ball. Just over 60 seconds out from half-time. The captain goes across to Galea. Ashton Galea looking to set it up once more for the Leprechauns. And now we've got a forward pass. What an anticlimax at Billy Slater Oval. It remains 8-4 in favour of the Leprechauns. We talk about the jersey sponsors across the grades. A big shout out to the likes of Alan Sultana Constructions, Nick Pervin Realty, Intrust Group, Dynamic Timbers. The local MPs, they're in the house tonight. They're also amongst the sponsors. Shane Knuth and Bob Catter, well done to the politicians who've been well connected in rugby league for a long time. Of course, Shane Knuth, in fact, former Redcliffe player and North Queensland Marlins representative. I'm sure Paul Laffin at the Brothers Leagues Club could tell us a few tales about the local MP. But all jokes aside, I know that Shane was very happy to see the Dolphins get that NRL licence. And great to see the local representatives in the house tonight supporting rugby league. Penalty to the Atherton Roosters, the ball bouncing around on the roof above us here on this western side of the ground. And this will be the final play of the opening stanza for the Atherton Roosters. They're going to spread the ball perhaps with gay abandon, and some serious defence there coming in from Dan Sagigi right at the end, and the referee says that will do us. So the first half comes to a conclusion. It is 2 tries to 1. I think there's been a bit said there right at the end, and the referee says that will do us, and the players prepared to leave for a well-deserved break at half-time. And at the break, it is the Leprechauns with the upper hand. 2 tries to 1. They lead the visiting Atherton Roosters in this opening round fixture at Billy Slater Oval, 8 points to 4.
boys for calling, but we just couldn't get to the phone. Look, we had 7 or 8 rings, but obviously it just wasn't enough on the day. We're just going to regroup and take it 1 week at a time. So, yeah, I guess leave a message.
Pick up the phone, Dusty. It's your mother.
Slater Oval, where second half action is about to get underway. The Innisfail Leprechauns are back out on the field. The Chemist Warehouse Innisfail Leprechauns and the Atherton Roosters with some work to do in this second stanza. They've got the ball on the tee. They've been out there for a little while, although I've got to say, not as long as Innisfail Leprechauns were for the start of proceedings. Would be surprised if we hear more about that later on from the CDRL. But what we do know is that we've got a really good game on our hands here at Billy Slater Oval. 8-4 is the scoreline. Leprechauns over the Roosters. 2 tries to 1. And the ball is on the tee for the second 40. The referee, Alan Bain, just checking with all and sundry. He blows the whistle. Here's the second half of the opening match of the 2022 season here at Billy Slater Oval. Oh my goodness, a barnstorming run going straight up the middle there. And no fear whatsoever on the part of Dan Sagigi. He just thrust his big frame into the Roosters defensive line. And that's what you like to see from a front row forward from the kickoff. Bending the line. And here we go once more and squeezing a pass out the back door. Well, luckily for the Leprechauns, they maintain possession 6 metres, Atherton side of halfway. And now a kick out of dummy half on this short side. And that's a very good set. And in fact, you couldn't ask for anything better because Grogan had a ton of work to do. The ball stays in the field of play and he had to get there. And he had to get there quick, smart. And again, all that good work undone in a heartbeat. High tackle is the call from the referee. And a relieving penalty here for the visitors. Don't forget, it's the John Cole Toyota Mayor's Trophy. And we have Mayors Nolan and Marty in the house tonight, which does really show the connect between the elected officials. We spoke about the MPs, the local state MP and the federal MP in the first stanza. And we shouldn't forget the mayors because it is, after all, the John Cole Toyota Mayor's Trophy. And I'm sure Mayor Nolan, well, he won't be getting too carried away, but at the moment, the flagship team on the Cassowary coast, and I say that not to stir up our friends in Tully, are leading the Roosters 8 points to 4. But now a mistake on the back of the penalty. They can't get to their kick. I was actually in Tully during the week, and the boys there training the house down at their home ground in front of that great grandstand that they have opened up in the last 15 months or so, taking the opportunity to check on a number of the clubs across the CDRL footprint and even further afield. I had the pleasure of being up at Ravenshoe a few days ago, checking out the Tiger's Den at the top of the Tablelands. No name of the field up there either, and I'm sure Rod Jensen would like to see that changed at some point in time. But here at Billy Slater Oval, look at this. There's a big step going on here from the fullback, and Garrett looking to make up for his sin binning. He pinned the ears back. It's still on here if they spread the ball quickly. Jolly goes across to Duncan. The defence getting back there just in the nick of time for Atherton, but blistering speed from Garrett. And now the Leprechauns only about 5 metres away, looking for their third try of the contest. 4-point buffer, this to make it a 2-score game. Comes across to Jolly. And Jolly now threatening to come through the other side on their own goal line, the Atherton Roosters. And now from dummy half, I reckon Larza, I think it's Larza, darting away and getting under the sticks. Or no, he lost the ball, did he? Well, it happened so quickly, and it's come to nothing. I was about to reach for a pill, but they lost the pill. Well, Leon Halley, he might need something stronger. 8-4 it remains. Big let-off for the visiting Atherton Roosters. They're back to within 10 metres of halfway and now away from dummy half. Dumbrell still going. He's been a menacing runner from dummy half all night long. The Roosters, that pass goes astray. They keep it going. 10 metres, Innisfail side of halfway. Terrible pass, a wicked pass, but Pedro did incredibly well. Fingertip control. Almost as if he had Tarzan's grip from his local hardware store on the fingertips to reel it in. Here's the last. This time he gets decent service. And he puts up the kick into the night sky. And Billy Slater over, a bouncing ball. Danger here for the Leprechauns at the back. And he's ruled a knock on, I believe, against the Leprechauns. Is that right? So effectively 6 more coming up here. 6 more coming up for the Chooks. The Atherton Roosters. It works out very well for the visitors. This is Ned Blackman for Atherton, taken care of by Ashton Galea. Now they're running towards the sticks. They're not too far away. Threatening now the Roosters, looking for an equaliser. There's no one at dummy half. I think it could be play on. No, it's a penalty. It's take your pick. What's the referee called here? It's a penalty, in fact. Bang in front. And given what we've seen earlier in the game, they won't have a shot at goal here. The rain has held off. It's a tap and go for Atherton. And a juggle too. Very close. Couple of metres away. Dumbrell dummy half. Keep an eye on him. Pedro under immense pressure. Only lost the ball. And in hindsight, they should have had a crack at the sticks to come within 2. Turning down the gift and failing to convert. And it's high fives around for the Leprechauns. And it remains 8-4, Innisfail leading Atherton. So the Leprechauns bringing the ball away. And here's another penalty. Holding down, I think, is the interpretation from the referee. Again, the people, they pay their good money to come through the turnstile. Sometimes you'd probably like to know what's going on. What we do know is that the kick for touch has found the line right in front of our camera position, western side of the ground. Leprechauns with a tap here coming up. 2 balls on the field, so we've got a slight delay. And now for the Leprechauns, Boucher Satrick plays it back. Jolly finding a runner. And I think that's Sagigi. Aaron. Galea. And, well, a breakdown there. Ashton's pass. It ends up coming to nothing for the Leprechauns. And that is disappointing from the home side, and especially for their fans who've turned out in good numbers for this first up home game. As I said in the first half, it's been a subdued wet season in the far north. Certainly by local standards, the field is in great condition. I've got to say the field at Atherton, I saw that only a few days ago as well. In fact, before last weekend when they had trial matches there against the Edmonton Storm. The Storm among the visitors, and their field was looking in tip-top shape as well, as we see Brett Power still going, crossing halfway. They couldn't finish him off, and he says thank you very much. Dumbrell got the pass away, back to Power, a step, running at the teeth of the defence. The pass went backwards, play on's the call. Well, the referee says knock on, and he's kidding himself. We're in a pretty good position here to make the call. I'm not sure if referee Alan Bain did technical drawing at school, but I did, and I've got to tell you that was play on in anyone's language. But I got the impression he got no help from the touch judges, and we'll have a scrum instead. No complaints from the fans here, of course. The locals have come to cheer on their team. The Chemist Warehouse Innisfail Leprechauns to 2 competition points, plus the John Cole Toyota Mayor's Trophy. Tablelands Mayor Rod Marty in the house. He's made the trip down to support his beloved tricolours. And so far, his counterpart in Cassowary Coast, Mark Nolan, would be feeling rather confident, but it's a low-scoring affair here at Billy Slater Oval. Just 2 tries to 1. None of them converted. Robert Harron goes to ground about 9 metres, Atherton's side of halfway, looking for the penalty, and he got some love from the referee, but he can't take off early. It's like the Sunlander when it used to come through Innisfail. It can come in late, but it never leaves early. Actually caught the Sunlander to work once. Here come the Leprechauns, playing for field position, if not points. Let's see how they go on this set. Harron, oh, good pressure there. The ball goes to ground. Roderick Duncan came up with the spill. Jolly was trying to set it up, but it comes to 0, and Atherton are off the hook once more. No one's going home early, are they? Crowd on the edge of their seat at different times during the course of this game. That pass was a shocker out of dummy half, and that was forward, and the referee, just for a second I thought he was going to miss that, but on this occasion I suspect he got some help from the touch judge on the far side of the field. And just as well, we've got time off now with less than 22 to go in this opening round contest of the 2022 CDRL season. And it's the Innisfail Leprechauns leading the Roosters from Atherton 8 points to 4. Yes, good work from the touch judge on that far side. Brock Innes giving some advice, I dare say, to referee Alan Bain. And consequently, we've got the Roosters now called on to defend the Leprechauns. 29 metres away, Jolly has a crack himself. They pick him off. Plays it back for Garrett. Now Sagigi, this man mountain, 120 kilos. As I said in the first half, I'd rather feed him for a day than a week. They go the left side. And now charging onto the ball. I reckon they got the try. Can't quite work out who's got there, but that's the 3rd try of the night for the Leprechauns, and they extend the lead. It's 12-4, kick to come. I believe it's Chris Galea getting across the line. He certainly ran with purpose and at pace. Well, the ground announcers confirmed it. It was Chris Galea. The Galea brothers very much prevalent tonight. That comes as no surprise, I'm sure, to the regulars here at Billy Slater Oval. The opening try set up by Ashton Galea. The second try scored by Ashton Galea. And the third try scored by Chris Galea. So it's the Galeas 12, Atherton Roosters 4. Well, I'm sure the Galea family finds that rather amusing. I don't think Graham Clark is laughing. And we've just been told that the Galea family are within earshot. So luckily we're giving them a big rap, because otherwise we might be calling for security. But it's happy days, at least for now, for the Leprechauns, but still plenty of clock left in this one, as they say in the classics. 12 plays 4, and Morton, well, if he misses this, he may as well give it away. I was talking to a couple of the players before the game. They weren't quite too sure who was going to have shots at goal tonight, and probably now we know why. None from 3, or none from 2, I beg your pardon, but none from 3 in the game. It's been lean pickings for goal kickers in this main event. 8-point buffer, Morton. Kick on its way. He's finally got it right. He makes the adjustment. It took some time, and it's 14-4. Leprechauns over the Atherton Roosters.
14 points. So the try scored jersey sponsor for the number 18 Innisfail Quality Rentals. And Michael Morton's jersey sponsor for number 5 Angela and Tyres. With just under 25 minutes remaining in the match.
Back underway. Off the boot of Grogan. Catch from Jolly. And my goodness, where do they get him from? That is Simon Arcella, I believe. His first touch of the game. Late call-up with Gabe Stephen. Not available for this game, and so hats off to Arcella from the reserve grade game, getting a spell. That's a good kick, a great chase. Is that a 40-20? I believe it is. Oh yeah, could be the play of the game. Have a look at the body language from the Leprechauns. You swear they've just made the finals. But coming back to Arcella, he was involved in that reserve grade match when the Leprechauns came back right at the death in the final, well, I think it might have been the last 30 seconds, the final play of the game, to steal a draw. Conversion successful, hence 26 all for the Dan's Butchery reserve grade Innisfail Leprechauns. And that, of course, followed the 28-6 win for Atherton in the under-18s over the Century Cranes Leprechauns. Here come the A-grade Leprechauns, the Chemist Warehouse Innisfail Leprechauns. They're only about 6 metres away. I think that's Galea again, that's Chris. Big night for the family, as I say. Great start for 2022. And now looking for a barge over from dummy half. Did he get the ball down? I think, is it Manasseh Focosilia? I couldn't quite pick up the number plate. It was him, I believe. Jolly. Now a pass across to Satrick and going very close, almost out of view from our commentary box. Unless I'm a giraffe, I can't call it. Perhaps we can get Taronga Park to join the sponsors here at Billy Slater Oval. The Western Plains Zoo. I'm sure the marketing people and sponsorship people who aren't too far away from us can get their people to talk to their people. It remains 14-4 as we come up to the 1 hour mark. And Atherton's come up with a knock on and they kick the ball away in disgust. Well, they've been their own worst enemies. They've done very well there to hold out. And now, all of a sudden, on the back of that energy-sapping 40-20, and that's what it was, you could feel the momentum shift, even though they didn't come up with points, the Leprechauns. You get the impression that Innisfail are there for the taking. Are the Leprechauns good enough to put on another one? Garrett chiming in from fullback. Sin binned in the opening half for Descent. Came back strongly since then, though. He came up with a beautiful line break to get his team on the attack. This is Chris Galea, goes to Jolly. Jolly at second receiver. Beats one, not too far away, the 5/8. And the Waikato product with a stymied play the ball. Comes across to Skelton. Danger here for the Roosters, and they've got there. The Leprechauns have come up with another try. Their 4th of the evening, and they kick clear at 18 points to 8. We'll get the try scorer for you in a moment. We believe it could be Tomasi Skelton. We'll just try and confirm that as soon as we can. Well, I've asked the try scorer to raise his hand, but the problem is he's done it behind about 12 players.
Thank you, Aiden.
So Aiden Chris is the try scorer.
Try there to Aiden Chris, his jersey sponsor.
That's his second try of the night. Chris gets a double. So well done to Aiden Chris.
Play remaining in the game.
18 plays 8. 18 plays 4, I beg your pardon.
Still waiting on another doubles to be claimed. Behind 3, opposition 7.
We move into the final quarter of the game. You don't have to be Einstein to work out, but the Leprechauns have done the spade work to get the 2 points, to get the John Cole Toyota Mayor's Trophy, which has eluded them in recent years. And I can't confirm if the cabinet maker has come into Brothers Leagues Club to do any extensions or maybe some vacuum cleaning. I'm sure the cleaners do a great job at the club. I'm sure Paul and the team would make sure of that. No complaints from yours truly when I had a sherbet there the other day. I'm not referring to Daryl Braithwaite either. But in all seriousness, Atherton have dominated that John Cole Toyota Mayor's Trophy in recent times. The kick on its way, and he's done it. Back-to-back goals for Morton. So that'll do his confidence the world of good. It's a 16-point spread here at Billy Slater Oval. The Innisfail Leprechauns 20, Atherton Roosters 4, 19 to go. We mentioned some of the sponsors, the jersey sponsors earlier. Bridgewater Builders come to mind. Cafe Laza. Innisfail Quality Rentals. So well done to all the sponsors, and we've got a penalty here to the home side. Cafe Laza, for the record, located on Thursday Island, and I've got to say it's rare to see a country rugby league club with a sponsor from so far away. And I've been on TI before, and that speaks volumes for the relationship, between the Laza family. So we've just been told that Dan Sagigi's father is the owner of Cafe Laza on TI. Not sure if I've actually been there. As I said, I've been on the McDonald's ferry run from Horn Island more than once, and they love their rugby league. In fact, I've been up at the Zenith Kes Cup Carnival, and it's a great showcase of Indigenous talent, I've got to say, and Uncle Terry and the team up there doing an amazing job. So not sure who's watching this broadcast or listening in, but big shout out to all our friends up there in the Torres Strait, and of course that Torres Strait Islander connection very strong here at Billy Slater Oval, and through a number of the players. As we see the Leprechauns go on the attack, they're only about a metre or so short of the goal line. The sting seems to have gone out of the Atherton defence. They seem to be resigned to the inevitable. Jolly, cut-out pass goes to Garrett. Here they go. Little kick in behind the line. Bouncing ball. Danger here. And the Leprechauns score in the corner. I've got no idea because I literally can't see, but they're pretty happy here at Billy Slater Oval. There's the whistle from the referee. And the numbers are in the frame at 24-4. Boucher Satrick is the try scorer. I'll tell you what, I will bring a giraffe next time I call a game here, because I was trying to crane the neck out the window. I felt like a train driver for Horizon or Pacific National, getting a breeze, so to speak, except that we weren't moving too fast. And so the Leprechauns, all of a sudden, with less than 15 to go, they are coasting at 24-4 with a kick coming up for Morton, who was in no hurry to have a shot after having a very, very dusty start to goal kicking in 2022. He's nailed the last two. And a 20-point buffer here for the home side. And I think it's fair to say that the Leprechauns have got one hand well and truly on that John Cole Toyota Mayor's Trophy. Time off, says the referee. He's looking up at us as if he can hear us. He was taking his time. Morton, that is. Michael Morton. 5 in from touch, on its way, it's looking all right. He has got it. Well, now he's got that radar working. Before, there seemed to be a problem with the power supply. 26-4, Leprechauns over the Chooks.
With just under 14 minutes remaining in the match.
Another restart for the Roosters. They're getting some practice in that aspect of the game, aren't they? And look at this from the restart. 30 metres, in fact beyond already, as they march upfield. The Leprechauns now making serious inroads. Six metres, Atherton side of halfway. The locals have got the Steeden. Chris Scalia goes to Jolly, a second receiver. And that pass was, well, it wasn't perfect, far from it, but Garrett did well. Here's Jolly. Jolly backing up. Jolly passing on the inside. Back to Garrett. Nice combination unfolding there in this opening fixture for 2022. Last has been signalled by referee Bain. Comes to Jolly. Bombs away. Grogan with a good look at it. Oh my goodness, he was entitled to spell it, but he did well, very well indeed. In fact, he took it in the in goal, and then off to the races. Look at him go! The referee, he wasn't going to say you can come back. Play on was the call, and now some great defence from the Leprechauns. I think that might have been, was that Chris Galea coming out of the line with some smothering defence? This is power. And they need some of that, the Roosters, and they need it right now. In fact, if I was the coach, I'd be ringing Ergon. They're 3 short of the halfway line. They trail by 22. The problem for the Roosters is there's only 12 to go. This will help. Scoreboard and timepiece is a friend of the Innisfail Leprechauns on this opening night of season 2022 in the CDRL competition. Big weekend, of course, coming up, including Sunday's match, tomorrow's match at Jalara Oval, where the defending premiers, the Yarrabah Seahawks, take on the Mossman Port Douglas Sharks. Rod Griffin's back on the field for the Atherton Roosters. I would expect he and his teammates to throw some caution into the wind, right on cue. He takes them on, trying to suck them in, sucking them in the defence like a hoover. He stands, they can't put him away. He plays it back, Dumbrell out of dummy half. And now a cut-out pass out wide. I think that might be Grogan. Hard to pick up, far side of the field, long way from us. Another penalty though. I think it's a high tackle. They're just struggling for penetration though. Just the one try for the Atherton Roosters. James Coyle. He's the ramrod on play 1. Dumbrell trying to trick everybody. Tricked even some of his own teammates. Plays it back. They're not far away. Leprechauns going for the intercept. Leaves a gap in the defence. Another penalty. They're going to go close to a sin binning here, I believe. A glut of possession for the Roosters. Robert Harron arguing the point with the referee. Atherton surely want a quick tap and go. They don't want a lecture. Ball comes across to Carson. Grogan dancing with the defence. Not sure where to go. And in the end, he's easy prey. Aidan Carson, a dummy half. This is Griffin with a show and go from Rod. Call him in the World Cup in 2008 at Robina on the Gold Coast, and then 2 years later in Rotorua in New Zealand, playing for the Coomels. Penalty again. I've lost count on how many that is in a row for the Roosters, and that's for a lifting tackle. And somehow the referee is benevolent enough to keep 13 on 13. Inside the final 10 minutes, the Chooks pressing for their second try of the night. Griffin looking to ball play close to the goal line. Sense of urgency in the Leprechauns' defence. There's no way through once more. And they forced the mistake. So again, the defence for the Leprechauns, rock solid. It's been a feature of the night, and I'm sure that the coach, Leon Halley, will draw some attention to that post-match. That will please him no end, keeping the line intact in this second 40, a clean score sheet since half-time. Well, that'll please any coach.
Yeah, just a reminder for next week, the Leprechauns are back at home next Saturday night as we welcome the Southern Suburbs team down. So we've got another home game here at Carlton Park next weekend, and then after that we've got a Sunday afternoon game. So next weekend, Saturday night, our next home game.
So the scrum to form in the comfort zone are the Leprechauns. They're back at home next Saturday night, this coming Saturday night. depending on how you like to see the future. Southern Suburbs making the trip down the Bruce Highway. Reminds me of the time that I once landed at Alley Park in a helicopter. I fondly remember going to that place. I particularly fondly remember getting off the helicopter and kissing the grass like the Pope. I was so green around the gills, all on the back of that iconic event, the Great Pyramid Race, many moons ago. Touch finder for the Leprechauns is a good one. They're into enemy territory, and now another penalty. Timeout. He stopped the clock with 7:51 to go in the contest. And don't tell me we're going to have a lecture, are we? I really don't know what this is all about. You know, the game is effectively over. We're going to have a conference and a discussion and a lecture and call it whatever you want. I would have thought that the first 73 minutes would have been a better option. It's for a high tackle. Only the one sin binning. No one's been put on report that I can recall. It's been a tough contest, but a fair contest. No malice. Just good old-fashioned rugby league with a few cobwebs, as you'd expect. And over the sideline, flag has been raised, and that's a dud play on number 1. And I'm sure Leon Halley would be furious with that, regardless of what's on the scoreboard, to come up with a play like that after a stoppage and a penalty and then just cheaply turn it over. Luckily for the Leprechauns, they're in cruise control. 26 plays 4, 7 to go on the timepiece as Atherton provide some second phase. And looking for a line break, I think that's Porter, Kean Porter, crossing halfway. Some of these numbers are a little hard to pick up under the lights here, and power goes to ground. Nice defensive work on the part of Elia Muka. James Coyle for the Roosters. 10 metres, Innisfail side of halfway. Griffin, he'll look to pop it back surely with nothing to lose, but on this occasion he can't get the ball away. And now Carson seems an elusive customer, but he's been contained. On this occasion it was Jolly with the stop. And now kicking behind the line. And the Leprechauns have got it. The chase is very good from the Roosters inside the final 6 minutes of the match. 26 plays 4. It was 8-4 at the break. Chris and Ashton Galea getting the opening 2 tries. It was Ashton Galea, the architect of that opening try for Chris. Aiden Chris getting a double so far. And then Jermaine Pedro for the visitors crossing the stripe, hence the 8-4 scoreline at the break. Referee has the arm extended here for the Leprechauns. Atherton, a couple of their players were a mile offside. Ball taken on the full by Skeen. And he's banged down 3 short of halfway. And in the second half, Chris Galea, Aiden Chris his second, and Bochet Sadrick, I beg your pardon, getting across the try line. And Morton, after having a very ordinary first half with the boot, kicking all 3 goals. 5 tries to 1 in the first game of the 2022 season of the Cairns and District Rugby League. Atherton looking for a consolation 4-pointer. Nothing more, nothing less. Trent Malloy running into dummy half because there was nobody there for the Roosters. Now a ricochet. Ball's come out the back and the Chooks have dived on the scraps and got a try. They all count. It wasn't pretty, but Atherton get their second try of the night at Billy Slater Oval. 4 minutes from full time, and it's 26 plays 8. We're trying to work out who it was. Again, a long way from our camera position, our commentary position. And this time I don't need a giraffe, I just need a bionic eye. We'll try and get the Rooster to identify himself. So much for Leon Halley being pleased about keeping that line intact in the second half.
We just asked the try scorer to put his hand up and place the PA.
And the try scorer was in fact Trent Malloy.
Trent Malloy takes up the Roosters tape.
He was the man who, as I said a moment ago, raced into dummy half because nobody was there, and you can't really fault the Atherton number 9 in terms of Glenn Dumbrell, who's obviously, I don't think, on the field because he's got through a ton of work in this game. One of their better performers in a losing side, it must be said. The kick on its way. Flags are up.
Conversion successful. Takes Atherton Roosters to 10.
26 plays 10. 2.5 to go at Billy Slater Oval. Leprechauns 26, Roosters 10. 5 tries to 2. Trying to get the name of the number of the goal kicker, also proving difficult. Our apologies for that. Morton has it on the tee. There's the restart. Nice and deep. And that goal kicker for the Roosters was in fact Ty Grogan. Grogan converting the try, scored by Trent Malloy. Just over 60 seconds away from the final siren here at Billy Slater Oval. Been a pleasure to call the match. Grassroots Rugby League, the Cairns District Rugby League, a new season, a new odyssey for the Innisfail Leprechauns. So close in recent times. As I said earlier, 3 times under Leon Halley in recent years, doing everything but lift the trophy. And I know it's not the same, but he and his players will get their hands on some silverware in a moment or two. And about time, we're told. Club president's been waiting. He's been measuring up that cabinet. It's a job that some clubs don't get to do very often. We won't name them. I'm sure you can draw your own conclusions. But success has eluded them for some time in relation to this John Cole Toyota Mayor's Trophy. And I'm sure Mayor Nolan and the Kasarari Coast Council will be just as pleased as the Innisfail Leprechauns, both the football club and the Leagues Club. One more play left in this game. The siren's about to sound. They're going to have a touch finder here. It's a tap and go. And there is a kick for touch from Michael Morton, which completes proceedings here at Billy Slater Oval tonight. And the opening match of the season for the Innisfail Leprechauns. In round 1 action of the CDRL, they get the 2 competition points and they secure the John Cole Toyota Mayor's Trophy for the first time in quite some time. 5 tries to 2. They led 8-4 at the break over the Atherton Roosters, and they prevail here tonight on home soil, the Leprechauns, defeating the Tricolours 26 points to 10. I'm Jason Costigan. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye for now.